Morning. Good morning. Schools getting accredited or receiving accreditation today, being recognized. If you can come over here to this area where I am at, and I'm sorry, my voice is complete trash today. Um, I do have. I do have the list. Calvary Children's Center, Calvary Christian Academy, Champions Academy, Crosspoint Christian Academy, Friends Academy, of Florida, Hope Ranch Learning Academy, Integrity Christian Academy, Kingdom Culture Academy, Lighthouse Christian Academy, Melody Christian Academy, New Hope Christian School, Northside Christian Preschool, Pathway School of Excellence, Radiant Life Academy and Child Center, St. Peter's Missionary Baptist Church Preschool, Talavana Christian Preschool, Talavana Christian School, TCK International Academy, Trinity Christian School Griffin, Trinity Christian School of Sharpsburg, and Worlds of Imagination Preschool. I'm sorry.
What's funny is last week my voice was like that the entire time.
Oh, I think I don't know, only got
I
worse.
didn't hear Melody Christian Academy. Just yeah. Okay.
Yeah, do you want just a few people or you?
It's typically two people.
But so we can't have a we can have a
Those are nice bright lights. Good morning. Oh, come on. You guys are better than that. Good morning. It's so nice to see you all. Before we get started, if any of you are here seated and you went through accreditation this past year, if your administrator is not lined up to my right and your left, please expeditiously move over there and see Miss Rigo right here. Head over so that we don't skip recognizing you. So hopefully all of you had a great time yesterday. You're ready for an even better time today. And I just want to welcome all of you and recognize and celebrate the incredible achievement of our schools, the distinction of earning accreditation. Accreditation is not just a title. It is a mark of excellence that reflects a school's commitment to high standards, continuous improvement, and dedication to imparting biblical worldview into the students. Today is more than a formal recognition. It affirms that the schools being recognized have met those rigorous standards in academics, student support, integration of Christian values across all programs, and overall performance and effectiveness. Accreditation is an affirmation the school is preparing young minds with the skills, knowledge, and Christian character they need to thrive. Achieving this honor is no small task. For those of you who have been through this, you know it is no small task. It's a team effort. It requires the hard work and dedication of faculty, staff, administrators, along with the support of students and families. Today, we acknowledge this commitment to qualify Christian education for the following schools. Our president of League of Christian Schools, Ms. Lori Johnson, is here with me, and she will be handing out certificates as I call the schools in recognition. So, Calvary Children's Center, Ormond Beach, come on up. If you are here to take pictures of your group, you can move to the center if you would like. Calvary Children's Center. Lori, get in with a picture with them, please. Calvary Christian Academy is next. Calvary Christian Academy, Ormond Beach. Champions Academy. Get in and get your pictures quickly. We have a lot to cover today. Next is Cross Point Christian Academy. I don't think I saw Kim Rogers, but let's give the school a round of applause. Cross Point in Georgia. The next is Hope Ranch Learning Academy. Come on up. They're going to do a selfie. Yay. Next is Integrity Christian Academy. Let's welcome Integrity Christian Academy, and they are not here. Let's give them applause. Kingdom Culture Christian Academy. Come on up, Kingdom Culture Christian Academy. Next, we have Lighthouse Christian Academy. Is Lighthouse here? Lighthouse is not here, so Melody Christian Academy. Let's give it up for Melody Christian Academy. So some of these schools I've been around long enough that I did their original accreditations. It's so exciting to hear their names called again and again. Next school is New Hope Christian Academy. New Hope is not here. Northside Christian Preschool. Congratulations. Pathways School of Excellence. Pathways School of Excellence is not here. Radiant Life. Radiant Life is not here. Radiant Life Academy and Childcare is also being recognized. The next school that is here is St. Peter's Missionary Baptist Church Preschool. Let's give St. Peter's a big round of applause. We got somebody here taking pictures. Awesome. Congratulations. Talavana Christian Preschool is next. Talavana is not here, and we're recognizing their preschool and Talavana. Oh, they're here. Hurry. Hurry. Be careful. I don't need you to fall. We don't need any injuries. No injuries. In Jesus' name. We're recognizing Talavana Christian Preschool and Talavana Christian Academy School. Okay. Good. Congratulations. I don't know if there's anybody to take a picture. If not, let's give them a round of applause. TCK International Academy. TCK International Academy is not here. Trinity Christian School, Griffin. Let's give Dana a big round of applause and her team. Dr. Anthony's down here taking pictures. He's proud of this group. Good job. Trinity Christian School of Sharpsburg. Trinity, Sharpsburg. Welcome. Congratulations. And World of Imagination Preschool, not here. We have Lighthouse that has come in. Miss Lori, can you find their certificate? Lighthouse Christian Academy, let's reward them with some applause, please. Give them some love. We're going to get their certificate. Big smiles. Another round of applause for Lighthouse. And with that said, we're getting ready to move forward with the meeting. But if you have not taken your school through accreditation, I'm going to challenge you to do so. It is a pursuit of continuous improvement, and every one of our Christian schools should be focused on continuous improvement. To all of the schools recognized today, we celebrate you as part of the Accreditation Commission. I want to thank you for your hard work, but I also want to make sure that we don't give up. We continue to pursue excellence. So those of you that have not been through it, you can see me, see Ms. Johnson afterwards, or any one of our board members. Let's welcome Michael Burrows.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to our admin meeting this morning and celebrating accreditation with us. We used to do it in one of the main services, but it got very long and took us until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So thank you for being a part of that. And I do want to just echo what Mrs. Ainger said. We shared some statistic last year with you about how accredited schools actually, now research has shown that accredited schools have better performance in student performance, instructional models, and management of resources. Ancillary to that, we did surveys of 500 financial statements, and accredited schools actually are more profitable in the end with finances. So if that's something you're interested in, we'd love to talk to you about that and move us forward. So we're going to go into our administrative meeting part of this, and I have a few, Corbin, I guess I'm relying on you to advance there you go, because I didn't get the clicker, I apologize. I want to talk to you about a few things today on our schedule and our agenda, and our ideas are always to help you improve your school, improve your performances. Then we have a few of our exhibitors and services that our vendors provide that we want to share with you as well. Our entire accreditation award ceremony is actually, in this wonderful meal you had, is underwritten by one of our incredible sponsors. So I want to ask, our steps are here on this side. So there's steps over here? Oh, they're way back there. Okay, so Fortify, come on up and share with us. So Fortify actually underwritten and supported this event here this morning, provided you a breakfast. If you enjoyed that breakfast, come on, let's welcome them to the stage.
I hope there was coffee with that breakfast as well. I didn't get to take advantage of it, but hopefully it was enjoyable to you guys. We're so thankful to be with you again this year. If you were here last year, you got a little bit of a snippet of Fortify Foundation at this event. And so I'd like to expound on that. Many of you were in some of our sessions yesterday. We're so thankful to be a part of those workshops and, of course, support LCS. In simplicity, if you've not been receiving our Fortify Insights magazine, which typically goes to heads of schools, business managers, maybe if you have an advancement department, that's there as well. But in simplicity, our mission is to sustain your mission. So when we talk about the term sustainability, there's a lot of things that come to mind. And a lot of times what comes to mind is what is our current challenge and what do we need to do to overcome that challenge? But that's what we like to call more of an immediate strategy. You guys are so blessed to be in a state that has a Step Up for Students scholarship program. Many of your schools exist because of that scholarship program. I'm out of the state of South Carolina. We don't have that benefit. Let me tell you, when I compare with family members that live in this state and what they pay for education and what my wife and I pay for education, we would love to be in the state of Florida. Let me tell you. But here's the thing. If for whatever reason in the future that scholarship wasn't available to you guys, the question is what would your school do? How many of your schools would continue to exist? Now, hopefully that never happens. And the reality is if it's always available, hey, great. But Fortify Foundation has set up a mechanism whereby every Christian school, regardless of size, regardless of your affluency, you have the ability to set up an endowment fund through Fortify Foundation. And what that's going to create is not only future sustainability, but also financial flexibility. People don't realize the average university or college that has an endowment fund has created anywhere from 10 up to 50% of their budget being facilitated in perpetuity year over year. So from now till kingdom come, you've created yourself a revenue stream that's only going to give you the flexibility you need for your school. So Fortify Foundation, we're here to help with that financial piece. We're excited to partner. We exist solely for the purpose of helping K through 12 Christian schools. So we would love to have a conversation with you. There's a lot of wonderful drawings, a lot of wonderful raffles out there. We have something pretty unique that if one of your administrators is willing to set up a meeting with us, talk through that endowment piece, we have a $5,000 drawing where we'll set up a fund on behalf of your school. So I encourage you as you go out the doors, we're right there to the left, would love to have a conversation with you. But with that, hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Let me also echo something that our research found, by the way, is that the schools with the healthiest finances have alternate sources of revenue. I.e. an annual fund or some other fundraising stream. So if you're at a point where you struggle financially as a school, you definitely want to consider what other options exist for you to bring in funding that are not tuition driven. Those are the healthiest financial schools. So with that, let me move on. I want to give you an update on our offices. Hopefully you got an email at some point in the last 30 days that informed you that the League of Christian Schools, our offices were completely flooded and in Milton, and completely, in essence, destroyed. The building didn't fall down, but it wasn't water from the roof. It wasn't water from a lake. It was actually, commercial buildings have runoff drains in the bathrooms and in the kitchen. Those actually gurgled back from city runoff and infected our building with a hazmat level 3 contamination, which means they come in hazmat suits, seal everything off, and force us out of the building. So imagine if your entire building was shut off to you and then you had to try to run a school somewhere else. That's kind of what happened to us. Well, that's actually not kind of what happened to us. That's exactly what happened to us. And we were forced to work remotely. And normally, when we all lived through COVID, right? We can do it. First of all, it's different when when everybody's doing it, that's always fun because we're all doing it. Well, we're just doing it. So you still have needs, you still call, and you're trying to get response. And sometimes we're not as timely as we could be. And then sometimes I was trying to get on a Zoom call with one of our missionaries, and it's hard when I'm in Starbucks and can't hear or can't talk. So I want to apologize that if we have neglected a need that you have in the last 30 days, I apologize. This event, I just told somebody, I said, I've pivoted so much at this point, I'm actually just ricocheting. I'm just, you know what, whatever. So this morning, the accreditation, as you guys may or may not know, Dr. Toby Mankey, by the way, she successfully defended her dissertation on August 18th, and she is now Dr. Toby Mankey. But her daughter went into labor while she was teaching a workshop. And as a good mother should, she bounced out that door and left me with this piece of paper. So I'm doing my best. As I said, I'm just ricocheting up here. So we're going to make it. All right. So that's our update. We will be out of our building for 6 months or more while it is rebuilt. It has been completely gutted. Drywall cut. It does. There's nothing there. So we'll do our best to serve you and make things happen. But don't worry, we're still here for you, and we have nothing to do but serve you. So with that, I want to move into talking about cell phone usage in schools. One of the biggest questions we've had in this last year is phone bans within private schools or schools generally. And that has led us to an interesting study that was done in Norway. And I'm going to share with you kind of a high level overview of this. And I'm going to show you where you can actually get the report. But in 2019, Norway actually implemented a complete cell phone ban in 400 middle schools within their country for a 3-year period. In that study, their Department of Health did an analysis of behavioral records and a lot of other data, and they released that report in February of this year. And it was really interesting. And as you know, anytime there's a release or a new study that's released, almost instantly there's naysayers that will tell you all the reasons why the study was fake or invalid, whatever. But for the lack of any other study, this is a pretty powerful revelation that we've discovered. So the purpose of the study was to improve academic and mental well-being of students by limiting distractions and the potential of bullying. And of course, that comes through social media. Most of our children have some level of addiction to social media. And sadly, a lot of their self-worth is based in what they see, the feedback they see online. So if we can eliminate that, at least within the instructional day, what does that look like? So here's the results. The key findings or the outcomes of this study is that number one, girls specifically showed academic performances and gains in mental health and well-being. Without going into a lot of details about this, psychology generally has shown us that men take a lot of self-esteem from their work. That's like when your husband meets another guy, what's the first question they have? Hey, what do you do for a living? Because we talk about what we do and work, where girls will be like, oh, do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? Why is that? Because girls are more relational. So it makes sense that some of this would have revealed this, that girls tend to have a better mental well-being when they are removed from social media influences. Bullying decreased for both genders. 46% of bullying incidents decreased in Norway middle schools, and there is no bully zone like a middle school. So 46% for girls and almost equally 43% for boys. There was a 60% decline in student visits to the psychologist or the school counselor. So that was an amazing response. So again, self-value, self-awareness increases. And then academically, it enhanced mathematical scores. And in the upper levels, students were more inclined to choose an academic program over a non-academic program. And so that was an interesting revelation, because I think you guys know, if you expect nothing out of a teenager, you'll get absolutely nothing. In fact, you will be shocked at the amount of nothing that they can do. And apparently, if you take their phone away, they can find something to do. To me, that's worth the price of admission right there. The greatest impact, interestingly, is that girls from lower socioeconomic backgrounds showed the most significant improvements. And the stricter the band, there was a correlation to the effect, the positive effect of the study. So generally, there's a range of things you can do in your school. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're going to talk about those options and what they look like. But at the end of the day, you determine how strict you want to be, and you're going to get an ancillary response to that. I used to tell my parents this when I did orientation every year. I said, you know what? We have kids that are going to be out of uniform and do bad things. And they look at you. I'm like, oh, no, not your kids, other kids. Because you know how parents are. It's never their kid. But I said this as a parent. And if you've parented, you'll understand this. You can be as strict as you want. And I'm telling you, I was a neurotic freak when it came to strictness. Come on. Sister Collins, I'm the worst, right? I'm a strict parent. But your kids are still going to slide by 20% of garbage by you. So you have to decide how much of that 20% garbage you want that to be, and then you got to ratchet down that tight. Well, as a school administrator, it really holds true. No matter how tight you have your rules, there's going to be some schlump that's going to push the boundary. And that schlump is going to become the gold standard for everybody in your school because they're all going to say, well, he got away with it. That's how it works. So the reality is you decide how tight you want to be, but you're going to have an ancillary and equal response to this. So on the social emotional impact, the band helped reduce mental health and performance gaps across socioeconomic levels. However, lowest income students had the highest benefit. Now, if you teach in a state that has school choice, I'm going to tell you right now who's in your school. The lowest socioeconomic students with the highest at-risk factors. So they are the ones who are going to be benefiting the greatest from some cell phone ban or restriction within your school. On the international context, just so you understand, because it's Norway, who really cares? You know, who are they? Where is that anyway? Isn't that South America? No, Norway is in Europe. It is a small country, and even though it is a small country, it ranks number 4 on the United Nations Global Education Index. And just so you understand, they're a little bit higher than the US, which ranks 13. So the reality is we really should look at this study as something significant because as small as that country is, they still outperform most other European countries. So what are your recommendations for school? And if you're a preschool director here and you're sitting here thinking, well, you know, our preschoolers don't have phones. Well, they might, but yeah, more and more they are. But the reality is we're going to talk about a staffing issue that you're going to need to be aware of in a second here. So recommendations for schools. Schools should establish a policy, period. There should be a framework in every school about the acceptable use of cell phones and what your expectations are. If you have none, then you are the Wild West of your school. Kids are going to do whatever they want to do. And when something happens on social media that you have no clue about, that's going to cause an emotional ripple that you won't even realize it until 3 days later. It's how it works. Kids film fights in bathrooms. It's ridiculous. So you need to have some policy. So if you have no policy, create something. Something's better than nothing. Policy should align with the school's mission and welfare and vision and comply with child welfare laws. One of the things about policies in general, I always say it's great to beg, borrow, and steal because there's a lot of work that's already been done, but also make sure that you have a policy that aligns to what your stated vision and mission is as a school. There's nothing worse than having mission drift and getting off task. I won't get into details on that, but that's something you want to be mindful of. So there are basically 4 possible scenarios that you can consider within your school. A complete prohibition of mobile phones on campus, period. That means they leave them at home. It's the parent's responsibility, and you simply do not allow them. This probably is the only one that you can not have to regulate, except that if you see a phone, it's your phone now. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, I could never get that by my parents. And I'm sorry, parents are parents. So I get it. And I'm not judging because I'm one of the worst. And my principal's over there, and she can tell you I was one of the worst. The other option is mobile phones surrendered upon arrival. Now, this is a concept where the kids basically surrender their phone to their teacher, and the teacher has possession of it. Your comfort level, the size of your school might drive this. I as a principal of a mid-sized school, would not have been comfortable holding a child's phone. If anything happens to it, you know it's going to go on, right? Yeah, they're going to want to bill you and everything else. So there are problems with this, but it's something that you could consider. The other option is a mobile phone stored in secured locations inaccessible to students. All you have to do is go online and just Google cell phone lockers, cell phone storage. You're going to find a plethora of options that allow that child to place their phone in that spot until the end of school. And this is good if you have a high school with after school programs, before school programs, where children, the parents need to have access to their child outside of the school day. If a parent needs to contact their child in the middle of the school day, your system should tell them to contact who? The office. It's your school. It's your school. So any policy should at least state that. And then the last one is never seen, heard, or seen or used. And this is the idea that a kid can have a phone in his pocket as long as it is not seen, it is not heard, and it is not used. And if it is seen, heard, or used, then it is confiscated and taken to the office. And I know that this is probably the most common form of this, and this is an option as well. But these are the 4 basic policies that you could implement. And we do have some samples of this on our member portal, which I'll show you that link in just a second. So the role of communication is, the question is, and I mean, if I was a principal right now, I'd be like, this is going to be a really difficult thing to roll out. It is, because anytime you change policy, it's a nightmare. And unfortunately, you're going to get 1 or 2 angry parents in your office screaming at you, and you think they represent the entire student body, and they do not. We were talking about uniforms earlier here today, school uniforms, and I'm like you guys. I had girls with rolled skirts and all the nonsense. And when I got my parents together, I said, listen, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So what do you envision for your kids' uniforms? And they're like blazers, suits, ties, dress shoes. I was like, okay, I can't enforce that. I was really shocked at how many parents were not only on board with us, but they were actually way more conservative than we thought they were. So rest assured, most of your parents are concerned about the health and mental health and the well-being of their child. They are. We're dealing with a communication issue. So first of all, ensure that all students, staff, and parents are well aware and understand the policy. You may not want to do it today, you may want to not do it this week, but you definitely want to create a very open dialogue that this is going to be a policy effective this date, and this is going to be the phase-in. The role of the staff. Preschool teachers, let me just tell you teachers have to role model. We've said before, students don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. They model what we do. You can tell them all day what to do. They're going to model what we do. So anytime that we implement a rule in our schools, I had a rule in my school. This is how neurotic I am. I was a principal. I'm like, kids cannot sit on the desks. Now, realistically, it's because they broke the desks. But I was just like, kids can't sit on the desk. But guess who always sat on the desk? The teacher. I'm like, listen, if the child's rear end can't be on there, I don't want any rear end on there. You're going to break my desks. So reality is we have to have 100% buy-in. So teachers have to model this. And just FYI, there's a concept called burner phone. Anyone know what a burner phone is? All right. Hey, man, you're a wily crowd out there. How many of y'all got a burner phone? Yeah, okay. We got some liars in the room. Stacy got a burner phone. So a burner phone is when you have a process where a child has to surrender a phone or put it in a locker or whatever, and they have that fake phone that they got for $8 on Amazon, and that's the phone you get while the real phone stays in their pocket. We had a school here that had an incident, and when they went and reviewed so teachers had to surrender their phones at the office every day, and a teacher was surrendering a burner phone. And an incident occurred in a room. And let me tell you, if an incident's ever going to occur in a room, it's going to be when the teacher is on a phone or steps out. Amen? So an incident occurred. They went and looked back, and the teacher's behind the desk hammering away at something. They have no idea. Well, they go in there, and sure enough, she's got a phone, and they're like, didn't you surrender it? Yeah, it's a burner phone. You just got to stay a step ahead. But this is not just a child issue. Sometimes it's a teacher issue. Parental support. Parents are encouraged to reinforce the policy at home and support the school efforts. It's always good to have parents understanding the information I just shared with you. If they understand what turmoil their kids go through, they're more inclined to make a better decision for their child when their child needs to do homework or their child needs to do other things. So by educating them, you might be creating buy-in for them to also remove the phone during critical times that they are trying to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and move past these because I don't want to stall our agenda today. But in conclusion, Norway's middle school mobile phone ban highlights the significant mental and academic benefits of a phone ban. I have several schools here that we've talked about a total phone ban within their school. I know we have a lot of schools that do an instructional time phone ban, bell to bell. Again, I'm not telling you what model to follow, but be thinking today through what you're going to need to implement, because phones are not going to go away. More kids are going to get them, and soon every preschooler is going to have one. Adopt a very clear policy and engage staff, students, and parents to help create a positive and focused learning environment. And then the importance of consistent enforcement and ongoing communication to build a strong no-phone school culture is going to make it successful. So that's what we have on our phones. It's not picking me up, Corbin. There we go. If you go to our member portal, which is member.lcs.education/portal, every school has an account, every principal has an account, and most of your teachers have an account. You can log in, and on the right-hand side, there's a tab called Resources. Under that, there's a section called Sample Policies. You will find this under Cell Phone Guidelines. You'll find more details about the actual study and a link to the actual Norway study if you want to review other items there as well. So with that, I want to, is our representative from Herzog here this morning? Is he here? I have not seen him. Yeah, go grab him. In the meantime, is Chuck Gore here this morning? Hey, grab Chuck Gore while you're out there. Thank you, Melissa. All right. All right, Brian, come on up. I want to introduce you to Brian Webb. Brian Webb is one of our world missionaries serving in the Pacific area on an island called Vanuatu. Man, I nailed it. I kept adding a lot of letters and syllables to that, Vanuatu or something. And he actually, God has laid on, he's a missionary, career missionary. God has laid it on his heart to write stories about missionary adventures, and with twofold concept in mind. You know what, I'm not gonna sell this for you. You can sell this for you. But having good literature, I will endorse it. Having good, by the way, I did read it, so I'm not just jibber jabbering. You know from our Tanzanian project that we have a heart for missions, and God needs missionaries. The Bible says that the field is white unto harvest, and we need laborers to go. So God could be birthing a world missionary right in your classroom, preschool teacher, middle school teacher, and one of the resources for a narrative book. See, I'll stop. Let's welcome Brian Webb.
Thank you. Good morning. I get the prize for actually being in the room. I'm just going to say, right? Thank you, Doctor, for this opportunity. I appreciate it very much. As he mentioned, my wife and I have served as missionaries in the Pacific for the last 27 years in the Republic of Vanuatu. And currently I serve as the area director for the Pacific. I am here because I believe God speaks to children. I was 11 years old when God called me to be a missionary. Looking back, I see two things that prepared me to accept God's call on my life. There was a white-headed old missionary, stood in the pulpit, and with tears in his eyes, appealed for more workers. And there was a book written by a retired missionary, H.B. Garlock. The title of the book is Before We Kill and Eat You. I read that book until the cover fell off. God did not call me to be a missionary through a book or through a missionary appeal. but the Holy Spirit used them to prepare my heart for when he did. Today, I am that gray-headed old missionary. And I have a set of 4 books. I was kind of expecting a podium, so I don't know how to manage everything I'm dealing with here. But these books are my best effort to give the Holy Spirit material to work with in the lives of children. So kind of like the Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew, who solved dozens of mysteries but never graduated from high school, 14-year-old Caleb, 12-year-old Anna go on epic missions adventures every summer, but they never age. So these books are designed for kids 8 to 12. They're filled with adventure, the excitement of discovery as kids learn about other countries, cultures, and languages through the eyes of Caleb and Anna. And along the way, they learn about God's mission for the church. They make new friends. They have new experiences. They grow in their faith and character. So far, they have visited Vanuatu, Taiwan, Peru, the Marshall Islands. Right now, Caleb is on a safari in the country of Mozambique and having the time of his life. We're about to wrap that up and move on to Spain. I'm convinced that for you, these books can meet a huge need. Solid, well-written, compelling narratives that draw kids in, that spark a desire to read, while at the same time reinforcing biblical truths in their lives without being preachy. Those are hard to find. And these meet the bill. So I encourage you, use them in your 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade literature classes. Use them to teach world geography. Use them as supplements in your Bible classes. Put them in your libraries. I've got a few copies with me. I will sell you a set of 4 for $35. Come see me today. I'll tell you how you can get that set of 4 for your students for $20. I am confident that your students will love these books. More than that, I am confident that God will use them to prepare the next generation of missionaries for his mission. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's great to have you here, Brian. We also have another missionary that has written children's books, and I actually had all 12 of them, and they were on my desk. But guess what happened? Correct. We had a flood, and our entire building was evacuated. So that was one of the collateral damages. So I apologize. As Brian said, his is designed for 8 to 10, 12 years old, and we want to encourage that. Amy Sardella is a missionary to Zambia, and she is a full-time career missionary that started a school in Zambia. And she did not have all the curriculum as most African countries. And so she actually worked in Stacey Ainger's school. And she's not only degreed, she's licensed in the state of Florida. We helped her, the league helped her get to Zambia because an educator could get a 6-year visa as opposed to a 3-year visa. So it's an amazing concept, but that's how it works. So she began writing her own books, and she wrote 12 books that were actually originally in Zambian language. She converted them into Swahili. Well, they're so wonderful, and she did the artwork herself. She started interpreting them into dozens of languages. Well, they're about character, and they have a African animal that represents a character, and they're just wonderful. And they're just beautiful graphic illustrations. They would be great for preschool through preschool, probably teacher read, but certainly through 3rd or 4th grade as well. So be looking for a link. We will send you that link because I had them to bring, but unfortunately I don't have them. But they're a great biblically based from our missionaries writing stuff on the field to help them do their work. And also, let me also point out, I know Brian left the room, but I was talking with one of our school administrators yesterday, and you guys probably don't know this, but La Progresiva, go ahead and wave over there, Melissa. La Progresiva is a school that started, it's in Miami. It started in Cardenas, Cuba, about 100, 200, 300 years ago. I know, I'm 1900, in 1900. And it was established, and a missionary actually, as the country began to turn, a missionary secured transport to move that school and its families from Cuba to Miami before Cuba became a closed country. And to this day, there is a museum in that school recognizing the incredible debt that they owe to that missionary who helped them survive that transition and that regime. So I'm telling you, we're all here because of a missionary somewhere. Somewhere. I mean, you know, if your family came from a foreign country at some point in your history, raise your hand. Exactly. We're all here at some point because of a missionary somewhere. All right. I want to talk about, let's Chuck here. Chuck, come on up here. So one of the things that our accreditation, as we have gone throughout the state and gone through preschools, K-12s across the states, we have noticed that benefits are a struggle. And a lot of our preschools and K-12s are not able to offer health benefits to their employees. Well, this has been a concern for us, and we have been working for some time trying to figure out a way that we can help you guys expand that at a reasonable cost. So Chuck is going to share. Chuck has served as our insurance specialist for many years now. We go many years now. Over 10 years. And he serves us well, and he is always here for a resource for you as well if you have questions. But let's welcome him and see what he has to share for us.
Thanks, Dr. Burrows. We discussed this in a breakout session yesterday, but one of the things that we've been trying to do is to create a format that our member schools can participate in an affordable way to get health insurance and ancillary benefits to your teachers and other employees. So we have created a program now called a co-op, in which we're able to take all of the schools that want to participate within this co-op and go to the market on your behalf to negotiate health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance, all of the things that you would need within that, as if that group was however many thousands of employees we've got within the league. Each school stands on its own, but you get the benefit of the negotiated rate as if we were all these thousands of employees all within one place. Everything is created so that any school that participates has access to the online benefit administrative program. Any of the ancillary things that you need that are part of it are included in that also, like tracking your employees' paid time off can be included on there, and being able to track wellness programs can be put on there. Messages that you need pushed out to your employees can be put on there, and it's done in such a way that it looks like each school has its own dedicated benefit program when your employees go to find those things. Trying to be real brief here without going too deep. I'm happy to have a further discussion with any of you on that. You can find me. Dr. Burrows typically knows where to find me. Happy to help any of you in any way that we can.
Thank you so much. And that's one of our efforts to try to improve services to you and expand the offerings that you can offer to your staff. And before I talk to you about a retirement program, and don't leave the room thinking this doesn't apply to me, we've actually created a model called the Super Simple Retirement Program. Come on, everyone say super simple. Isn't that what you want in life? That's how we teach, right? My grandma used to always say, keep the cookies on the bottom shelf. You know, there's nothing worse than wanting a cookie and you got to ask an adult to get it. Just put the cookies on the bottom shelf for the kids to get. Amen? All right. One of our great sponsors this year is BJU Press, so we want to welcome to the stage Greg Fuller. Most of you guys know this guy. So let's welcome him. I may have to hold a light for him, though.
Yes, I hold it like that. Good morning. It's a joy once again and a privilege and honor to be here. And as Mike Burrows says, working with BJU Press. BJU Press actually is celebrating 50 years and serving your schools. And I've actually, go ahead. And I've actually had the honor and privilege to be 30 years this year of those 50 years. And so it's a joy to see all the improvements and encouragement that you guys and your staff are coming by yearly and saying what they love and appreciate about BJU Press. I want to read you something that's actually in our catalog this year that really succinctly describes BJU Press and really what we're all about. So maybe some of you have never heard of us, or you have heard of us and you want more information, or really, I kind of want to know what is the heart of BJU Press. And the theme this year is there is one book that can teach truth and change lives. In a world of shifting ideas and conflicting voices, students need a solid foundation. They need to know who God is, understand who they are, and grasp how their world works. For 50 years, BJU Press has supported Christian educators in laying a strong foundation for the next generation, equipping students to serve God and others well. We believe that the Bible serves as the ultimate authority for all learning. Our materials are crafted to be academically rigorous while remaining faithful to a biblical worldview. We strive for our students to recognize the Bible's relevance across all subjects, whether that be history, science, math, or English, and to know that all learning is for the glory of God and to be used for the good of others. Through real-world examples and thought-provoking questions, we encourage students to develop critical thinking skills and address life's foundational questions. Educating students is a profound responsibility, and BJU Press assists by offering instructional resources and convenient technology options for in-person and distant learning environments. Our commitment stems from the belief that the Bible is not just any book. It's the one book that can truly transform lives and make a lasting impact on our students. And Mike Carringer, Brian Keith, and myself, Greg Fuller, appreciate and want to say a huge thank you for you as administrators and staff trusting in a company, BJU Press, to help change the hearts and minds of young people for the next generation. And let's give Dr. Michael Burrows another round of applause and appreciation for his dedication in Christian education. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sister McNair, when I'm done with this presentation, you be ready? All right. So let's talk. I want to talk to you briefly about, as I mentioned, in accreditation, we saw that a lot of schools really just offer a salary to their teachers and have not really developed a healthy benefits package for their teachers. And oftentimes it's driven by, because we talk to administrators, it's, well, we just can't afford that. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. And God forbid we get into a school where the pastors on staff got an amazing package and the teachers are still schlumping it. God forbid that be the case, because that's just not fair. But we have seen that. So I want to talk to you about a retirement program, because it's not as complicated and as difficult and expensive as most people think it is. And it really is something that, you are changing the culture of your school, and you are moving in a more positive and sound direction financially. So how do you create a retirement program? Well, first of all, my retirement is not my employer's problem. Let me be very clear. My retirement is not my employer's problem. Now, they may make a vehicle available to me to help me, but it's not their problem. My retirement's my problem. So, number one, to create a retirement program within your school, you are telling your teachers, we love you, we appreciate you, and we want you to plan for your future. That's number one. Number two, the majority of private schools offer no vehicle to facilitate, support, or even encourage staff to save for retirement. It doesn't even exist. Don't even have a conversation about it. Now, who's thinking of that? I'm going to teach till I'm 90. I'm going to teach till I hope I die in this classroom in front of the children, because that's healthy. That's healthy for everybody. It's just not reality. And let's face it. I mean, we've heard the whole threat that Social Security is going away forever. Employees are likely to save for retirement when a culture of savings is created. This does not cost your organization thousands of dollars. The reality is, If I tell my employees, listen, I love you, I appreciate you, but I want you to think about retirement. You probably have some teachers you wish they would have thought about that 20 years ago. Girl, you need to retire. You put this into motion to help them realize that you're not going to be able to work the rest of your life, and I want to help you get there. That's creating a culture of saving within your school. Now, the idea is it has to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Retirement doesn't work that way. Retirement is the concept that I put $1 in savings when I was 15 years old, and when I'm 75 years old, it's $1 million. That's the concept. Now, it's never going to be that, but that's the concept. Are you with me on that? Okay. So, how does it actually work? There's a really simple model for starting a school retirement plan, and it's based on a matching concept. So generally, a school establishes a matching benchmark, meaning that a teacher can contribute their own money. Their own money. I make X dollars of money, and I want $10 a week, $20 a week, $100 a week, up to a percentage, meaning that that employee can only contribute up to a certain percentage. So even if they said, I want you to take my whole paycheck, you would say, well, we can only take 6% or 3%. You set that number. Doesn't really matter. I could care less. But again, it's their money. You shouldn't care what they do with their money. If they want to put it in retirement, God love them. You should be encouraging that and say, you know what? We want to be a part of that. And that's where the partnership comes in. They say, I want to put away X dollars of my paycheck every week. And then you as a principal say, you know what? I love that. And because of that, I will match X dollars too. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people have the false concept that a retirement plan is me giving you free money so you can retire. That's actually not true. In fact, even in the public education, they are going to take 3% of your check, period. And they're going to put it in your retirement because that's how the contract's written. They take it and they put it in retirement for you. That's how it works. So what you're saying is, listen, teacher, love you. If you will plan for your future, we will match X dollars. Now that X dollars, that's up to you. If you really don't know I don't think we can afford this, then just say we'll match $1. I don't care. But whatever your match, you're telling that teacher, I believe in you and I believe in you saving, and I want to also contribute to your future. You're creating future dollars. And here's the thing, it's only going to come out to about a few $100s, but the benefit to them says they believe in me beyond my employment here. You know, when you think that your only value to an organization is today, that stinks. That's the worst. Who doesn't want to quit that job? The reality is when you create a retirement plan, you're saying, if you're willing to invest, I'm willing to invest in you. So what does it actually look like in terms of real money? What time do I have to be done? Boo. Corbin, I'm having trouble. I'm struggling, my brother. Thank you. So here's what it really looks like. We're going to say Mrs. Jones earns $20,000 a year. Now, if you're paying your teachers $20,000 a year, you're breaking the law. Don't do it. Because we have a minimum wage law here in most states of the United States. However, this is easy money, so let's just do it with a round number. Mrs. Jones makes $20,000 a year as a teacher and has chosen to contribute 3% of her annual salary, which means you created the plan. What you said was teachers can contribute up to 3% of their salary. You're basically telling them you can invest, but you can only invest up to this. So she's going to invest 3% of her annual salary into the 401 or 403 if you're a nonprofit. And then she's going to start it, and she's going to go ahead and put, because she's never put anything away ever. So she's going to go big. She go big or go home right here. So, hey, Corbin, I just realized I'm pushing the wrong green button, man. I am so sorry. These lights are so bright. I can't see anything, man. I don't even want to come back there and face you in a few minutes. So let's just say we will match 50% of her contribution. We're going to match 50% of her contribution. Only up to 2% of the salary. Again, we're capping our own amount. This is your retirement plan. You figure it out, and you figure it out on your budget, which means you set the minimum or maximum wherever you're comfortable in your budget. Maybe it's only 1% starting out. You got to figure it out. But what does it really look like? This is what it really looks like. Next year, Mrs. Jones is going to contribute 3% of her salary. How much is that? $600. It's her money. This hasn't cost you a thing. What you're doing is when she gets her paid, you're deducting $600 over the course of a year. You're deducting $600 pre-tax, which means she actually gets more money in her pocket from the taxation. And you're going to place that in the vehicle for retirement. And that we can help you with that. We work with several companies that make that happen. And then that means she's going to take $60 of her money out of her check and put it in that, and you're going to facilitate that. This is her money. This doesn't cost you a thing. Everyone understands that, right? Okay, so what is it actually going to cost the school? I clicked the right button, by the way. Look at that. Boom, worked. Man, we just went through a lot of batteries too. I'm sorry. Next year, your school is going to invest because we said we're going to pay 50% of her contribution up to 2%. So next year, you're going to invest a whopping $300. So what you're committing to is $30 a month of school money to tell her, we love you, we appreciate you, and we believe in you, and we believe in you beyond your employment here. It's going to cost you $300. It really is not as difficult and complicated. Now, when you get into paperwork, yeah, you're probably going to pull your hair out and go, really? There's an initial process of setup. But for your school to be able to say, we offer health benefits through a co-op, and we offer a retirement program through AG Financial Services, or we do whatever, you are expanding your school. You're expanding the capacity of your school to minister to your internal customer, which is your teacher. And this is such an insignificant and inexpensive way to do it. That is a small investment to provide a retirement program that can get your teachers on the right path towards their retirement. Remember, it's not about you. It's not about your budget today. It's about putting them on the right path for the future. And you're teaching good stewardship to your teachers by doing that. So I want to encourage you. This is also available within the member portal. Please take a look at that if you need help setting that up. We are here to help you. You can reach out to our offices. I'll get back with you in a month or two, Lord willing, and no more flooding. But that's what we have to offer, and I want to share that with you because so many of our schools just think that benefits are beyond their financial reach, and they're not. So with that, I'm going to ask Lois, can you come on up here? Lois McNair is one of our Alliance partners, Summit Ministries, and I'm going to give her the floor for 1 second, and I will close this out because Dr. Dry, are you in here next? Okay, Dr. Dry is next, so here you go. Let's welcome Lois McNair from Summit Ministries.
Hey guys, Lois from Summit Ministries, which is a nonprofit biblical worldview ministry. We've been going for 62 years, and we focus on student conferences in the summer. So if you have some leadership students at your school that you think would benefit from 12 days of apologetics immersion and coming back to your school and infecting your other students, come by the table. We also do Bible curriculum, which some of you use, kindergarten through 12th grade. And then we do content for those that are working with Gen Z. So if you need CEUs or your teachers need CEUs, which I know all teachers need CEUs at some point, we have a program called Base Camp. And those are free CEUs, completely free because of some donors that we have. We've done about 15 of them at this point. There are 3 hours of video content each one. So I'm not sure how many points, but we are approved by LCS. And I believe it's 1 unit per 50-minute or 4 hour-ish. Okay. So it's free CEUs, you guys. And I mean, you can't beat that. So come by, I've got a card for you. You can take it with you, scan. Here's the cool thing. Once you register for 1 CEU or 1 base camp, then you get free access to all the other archived base camps. We just did one last month called Beyond the Gaze, and it was how to work with students regarding pornography. Last spring, we did the transgender identity 3 hours. It's what we're dealing with right now, right? So this is completely free to you because of some of our phenomenal donors, and I want you to have that. Also, if you're an administrator or principal until we run out, please come by the booth. We have a free book for you from Dr. Jeff Myers. If you remember him, he came 2 years ago and spoke. Dr. Jeff went to Israel, to the war zone in January of this past year. We tried to send out his book. Maybe not all of you got it. I've got 60 books here to give to you, again, completely free from Dr. Jeff's experience for that. And so I want to say thank you to you for who you are. I'm a former teacher, so I'm not just here representing Summit. I understand what it's like to be in the classroom. I understand what it's like to have to search for curriculum that I feel like will transform the lives of the students in front of me. So I've given you some free stuff, and now I'm going to leave you with a challenge, and this is a really strong challenge. But as an administrator, as a principal, as a teacher, what is your goal biblically for the student who's going to walk across the platform and get a diploma from you for the last time this coming May or June? What is your biblical goal for them? And then think about what you're doing in the classroom with biblical immersion or in the Bible classroom. And is that meeting the goal of what you want for that student's biblical trajectory after they leave your school? And if it's not meeting those needs, which I've heard a couple of times this week, what's your pain point of what you're willing to do about making a change to make sure that that biblical trajectory takes place as that student leaves your school? 10 years ago, George Barna did statistics that 70% of our students were walking away from their faith or deconstructing in an unhealthy way. 10 years later, he did the same research. Statistics have not changed. We have to do something different than what we're doing. We all know the phrase, if we keep doing what we're doing and we're expecting different results, that's called, yeah. So let's not be in that aspect. Let's be the administrators and the teachers that are saying, okay, we cannot continue to do Bible the same way. We cannot continue to just try to integrate, but we need to immerse in every subject area. And what am I willing to do about that to change the trajectory of the life of the student that's going to walk across that platform in May? And thank you so much for what you do. Thank you so much for stepping into Christian education. I know you don't get paid a ton. I remember my very first Christian school teacher job. I made $9,000 a year back in 1988. And I left there 6 years later with a whopping $11,000 a year. So I'm sure it's gotten a lot better since then, but thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for what you're doing. Come by the table, get a free book until I run out. Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're gonna close this because we have a workshop coming up in here. So let me go ahead and let's just pray. God bless us today. Teach us a lot. Help us do something significant for your kingdom. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you guys. Reach out to us if you have any questions.
I brought you the spare clicker.
Yeah, apparently they work. I know.